Straight ahead on CCX News, refugees in crisis, how a Golden Valley nonprofit is working to make a difference overseas. Plus, something that hasn't happened to the city of Osseo in decades. But first, an alarming number of crashes connected to flashing yellow arrows. But Plymouth police want drivers to know. CCX News starts right now.
Hello and thanks for joining us. Flashing yellow turn arrows are increasingly common at busy intersections across the metro.
But police in Plymouth say risky moves by drivers have led to a growing number of collisions. The intersection of Rockford Road and Fernbrook Lane is one of the areas on the city's radar. Hennepin County installed flashing yellow turn arrows there last year. The signal allows waiting motorists to make a left-hand turn after yielding to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. But Plymouth police say from the time they were installed to February of this year, 34 crashes took place at that intersection, and nearly half were directly related to vehicles failing to yield.
If you don't think that there's enough room for you to turn, then don't turn. Don't take the chance, don't risk it. The light will eventually cycle through and go to a green turn arrow, and you'll have 100% of the right of way.
Traffic officers have requested that signals be changed to disable flashing yellow arrows when pedestrians push the walk button.
The Plymouth City Council will get a look this week at proposals to renovate and expand the Plymouth Creek Center. Officials say the facility is challenged by a lack of space. Drawings show several proposals to upgrade the center. Since it opened in 2000, officials say growth and diversity in the community have led to an increase in demand for park and recreation programs and special events. Expansion and renovation options range in cost from $18 to $23 million.
The State Patrol says alcohol and speeding were factors in a crash in Plymouth that killed a Corcoran man. The crash happened early Saturday morning on the northbound Highway 169 near Medicine Lake Road. The State Patrol says the driver, a 29-year-old man from Seattle, was traveling at a high rate of speed when his SUV veered off the road and rolled several times. A passenger, 29-year-old Christopher LaBelle of Corcoran, was ejected and pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities say neither man was wearing a seatbelt. After a Golden Valley relief organization is helping refugees from Syria, Afghanistan, and Iraq.
A Headwaters relief organization volunteers are in Greece, where hundreds of refugees arrive each day. Reporter Sonia Goen shows us how the group is bringing hope and healing to people who have lost everything.
Some of the pictures are here from the trips in Greece.
Volunteers with Headwaters Relief Organization are making a difference at several refugee camps in Greece.
People from Afghanistan, people from Syria, people from Iraq.
Some of their work takes place on the island of Lesbos, which is not too far from Turkey. Many people cross the Aegean Sea in hopes of finding a better life.
I think there's an idea that, you know, there's kind of the us and them and these people living in camps, and they're medical doctors, they're opera singers.
Rebecca Tomley says the group was initially asked to help with psychological services.
You spend any time with women that have had acid thrown on their face, or young girls who've been threatened that if they go to school, you know, their brothers or their mothers or their fathers will be killed.
As you can imagine, many people are depressed, including children. Volunteers with Headwaters use play therapy. They play games and do artwork with the young refugees as a means to helping them cope. Seeing children act like children is also beneficial for adults in the camps.
Pretty soon the community comes in and you build that level of trust, and when they see their children, you can often bring, having fun, you can bring smiles to their face.
Volunteers see the harm many refugees endure, and while they might not be able to solve or stop their problems from happening again, they can give the refugees hope for a brighter future.
Maybe giving that one person the time to listen to how they felt, or to have tea with them in their tent, or to hold their baby so they can take a nap. That all is powerful and creates hope.
Headwaters started its grease relief efforts last July. Another team is hitting out next week. They'll send in more doctors to replace medical experts from another relief agency. Mike and Alex, Headwaters is in need of volunteers and, of course, donations. If people would like to help, they can head to our website.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Sonia. After several child death cases, Hennepin County is working to overhaul its child protection system by trying to prevent child abuse rather than just reacting.
Before, for instance, if a kid was truant from school for 2 weeks at a time, it might trigger some sort of truancy response, but it might not necessarily trigger what's called educational neglect and more of a let's go see what's going on in this house situation.
After a committee studied the problem, the county moved to reduce caseloads by hiring more than 100 additional case workers. Commissioner Mike Opat was recently named chair of a new panel that will figure out ways to legally intervene sooner in bad situations.
The vision for child well-being.
What are the right questions to ask? How are you not too intrusive? It's not against the law to be a bad parent. It's against the law to be an abusive parent. So we have to figure out how we can walk that line. I mean, that's a tough call.
Opat says Hennepin County is the first in the state to adopt the idea of a child well-being model.
When a city grows, so does its needs for more homes and businesses to schools and public utilities.
Osseo has always prided itself on its small-town feel. Now the city is growing for the first time in more than 3 decades. In this week's Business Matters, we take a look at one development that could be fueling this growth. Along Osseo's Central Avenue, the winds of change are blowing.
It's kind of hard to wrap your head around when Osseo's been the size it's been now or smaller for years and years.
Long regarded as a small town in the heart of the metro, Osseo's population is growing for the first time since 1980.
By 2030, 2040, we're looking at approximately 3,000 people here in Osseo, or even more.
It's not exactly Maple Grove-sized growth, but when you consider Osseo currently has a population of around 2,600 people, an extra 500 residents is a 20% increase. And city planners take notice.
We've got more people looking to use our park spaces, our city hall, our classes that we offer. We need shops for them to visit. We need roads for them to drive on.
Osseo has been a fantastic location for us.
The city's rising population is being fueled in part by the addition of the 5 central apartments, 140 new housing units in a city that's already fully developed.
51% of the people that have moved in here have actually been from the northwest quadrant of the Twin Cities. Plymouth, obviously Osseo. We've had a lot of people that have sold homes and have moved in here.
More than 2 years after the new apartments opened, around 400 people called this home. And more than 3/4 of the residents at 5 Central are working professionals. Some Osseo natives, others new to town.
It's got a nice draw because it's walkable, yet it's convenient to employers up along 610, Maple Grove, Brooklyn Park.
Osseo knows it's got a good thing going.
We've got that great small town feel. People love that about our community.
The city is in the middle of updating its comprehensive plan to reflect the growing Osseo population. A community meeting will be held this summer to unveil some of the ideas.
Still ahead on CCX News, meet the most popular man today on Maranatha Christian Academy's campus.
And plus, the Maple Grove baseball team aims for a return trip to the state tournament this spring. We'll have a preview of the Crimson.
But first, the sun returns and warmer temperatures on Tuesday.
School officials say standardized tests like the SAT or ACT are as important as ever.
Preparing for those tests is hard work, and as Shannon Slatton explains, one man has made test prep something to get excited about.
What up, guys? Hi, how are you?
Inside Maranatha Christian Academy, a cloudy, gray, unassuming Monday morning is about to be broken up.
Hi, how are you?
With not exactly a ray of sunshine.
How you doing, man? Good, how are you? Good.
But a Ray Doss.
What's up, man? How are you? Hi, how are you?
The Ray Doss.
You guys are all juniors? Yeah. All right, cool. Nice to meet you.
That might not mean much to those of us over 30. But to those who are in high school and staring down the barrel of ACT tests, SAT tests, and college admissions.
You're the best, man.
Oh, thank you.
Ray Doss is a big deal.
When you can see kids flock around him in the hallways and want his autograph.
I owe my ACT score to you.
My favorite moment is when a bunch of the kids go completely nuts and then they tell me how well they've done and they just get excited and they want to take pictures.
As much as kids can complain about anything that's going on in the classroom, it's pretty fun to see them have such a positive reception for Ray Doss.
Cool.
Ray Doss test prep program has been integrated into Maranatha English and math courses for the past 6 years. In that time, average ACT scores have gone up from a 24 to a 26.
What grade are you guys in? Ninth. Oh, wow.
The program begins with freshmen.
So they get better at math and reading and writing.
Really integrate it, master it, really feel confident about it rather than cramming.
By the end of it, they're like at the highest possible score they could be at, and they don't need a tutor.
Doss didn't expect to earn rock star status in high schools when he started his program.
I feel very thankful for my life right now. It's awesome.
But earning this reaction over a test that could ultimately shape a student's future could be the biggest deal of all. In Brooklyn Park, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
A cool reaction there. So far, Maranatha Christian Academy is the only school in the Midwest using Ray Doss's program. Up next, why it was a celebration day for a local youth homeless shelter.
But first, a couple of Park Center teammates compete in the All-Star Girls Basketball Series. John Jacobson is in next.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. 40 of the top seniors from the class of 2017 in girls basketball met up over the weekend for the annual Girls All-Star Basketball Series. Park Center's Ann Simonette and Michaela Hayes playing on the white team in the second game, with Pirates coaches Chris Vanderhyde and Luke Swedberg coaching that team. Early in the game, Hayes catches the pass, scores off the glass to give the white team a 9-7 lead. She scores 5 points total. Simonette with a quick release three for her only basket of the game as the white team leads for most of the first half. Hayes is strong on the glass. She outlets to Lakeview's Sadie Stelter. And a perfect bounce pass here. Chantel Groen of Southwest Minnesota Christian gets the layup. Sydney Werke of Tutino Grace, playing for the blue team, scores with the left hand. 1 of 4 baskets for her. Blue trails by 3 at the half, but they come back strong in the second half of play. Roseville's Kaya Porter lights it up, scoring 16 points. And then she'll kick it out to Kirsten Klitsky of Watertown Mayor for a 3. That ties the game at 73. Klitsky scores 13. A nice pick and roll known as Eden Nebelik to Vashi Rob of Springfield. The blue team plays well late, and they win it 81-78. The Maple Grove baseball team will see a lot of young players step up to the varsity level for the first time this spring. But the Crimson have talent and a good chance to repeat as section champions. Jason Melillo reports.
Maple Grove baseball coach Darby Carlson also coaches the Maple Grove VFW team in the summer, and that's been a key to the high school team's perennial success.
You get a chance to see guys in 40 games in the summertime and see what they can do, and then when it comes back to the varsity season, you kind of got an idea where they fit in.
Carlson's familiarity with the younger players will be even more important this spring, with only one returning starter. Still, Carlson is confident some of the underclassmen will step up.
It's kind of like opening Christmas presents. We know it's probably going to be good, but we don't know what it is yet, and that's kind of where we're at.
That lone returning starter is pitcher and future Gopher Charlie Horton. He'll be the ace of the staff and hopefully help some of the younger pitchers get acclimated to the varsity level.
We got a lot of good pitching this year. We have a lot of arms that we can rely on, and I think that's going to really help everyone as a whole, because it means that we're not going to have to throw as many innings. We're going to be able to split time and be able to trust those other pitchers to get the job done, and I think it's going to keep all of us fresh and at the top of our game.
Maple Grove is hungry to get back to the state tournament this spring after losing an extra innings battle in the first round last year.
We just want more. Like we made it there last year, got kicked out the first round, but we really want to push farther into the state tournament and get deeper and maybe get a championship.
It really motivated me to get better in the off season, really focus on what I need to work on, and it'll help me rally the other pitchers and other teammates around me to kind of focus on that same goal and make that playoff run.
Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Maple Grove opens its season Tuesday. The Crimson will host last year's state Class 4A runner-up, Champlin Park. Hopkins was the lone softball team from our area to reach the state tournament last season. Here's Jay Wilcox with a preview of the Royals this year.
The Hopkins Royals beat Armstrong in the Section 6 4A championship round last season to advance to the state tournament, where they won their first game. It's a feeling they'd like to experience again.
Hopkins hadn't been to the state tournament in a few years, so this team had never witnessed that before, and so everyone kind of is motivated to go back and to see that again.
We definitely peaked at the right time last year. Yeah, we just all came together, and our hitting really came together at the end of last year.
The Royals lost just one key performer from that team and return a good group. Strong-armed shortstop Natalie Den Hartog is one of the area's best players. Pitcher first baseman Mackenzie Merritt, third baseman Hannah Kleist, second baseman Kirsten Magard, and catcher Zoe Jeske are among the top veteran players. It's a team with a number of weapons.
We did a lot of work in the off season on our own times, like before school we'd hit or just work on like different positions that we need to have filled in this season. So far our practices have been going a lot better than where we were at last year.
We're actually excited. We have a strong experience base. Our tri-captains will be contributing a great deal, and we're pretty excited. We think we're going to be able to hit the ball. We've got some pitching, and defense is going to be strong, so looking forward to a good year.
Hopkins was a young up-and-coming team last season. With a lot of seniors, they'll try to go out in style this spring. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
The Royals won their season opener 6-1 over Waconia. They'll open Lake Conference play Thursday at Wayzata. We're back with more on CCX in a moment.
It's not quite like the lines at Disney World, but still an impressive line nonetheless. Parents and anxious kids wrapped up around Robbinsdale City Hall on Saturday to receive prizes at this year's Eggstravaganza put on by the Robbinsdale Chamber of Commerce. We're told nearly 400 kids were part of the fun, and each went home with 4 prizes. Well, finally, a local organization dedicating to serving homeless youth received a huge gift today.
Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping presented a check worth more than $14,000 to Hope for Youth. The Anoka-based nonprofit was part of a charity challenge where the organization with the most votes would win a $5,000 prize. An Iowa nonprofit actually won the contest, but the owner of the Brooklyn Park Farrells decided to make a $5,000 donation anyway, and then members of the fitness studio added to the total.
There is really a need out there to do this, and I just can't be more pleased that just how much our members stepped up to help make a significant difference to help this great organization.
Hope for Youth served more than 700 young people last year. That'll do it for us.
We'll see you again tomorrow.